Dude, he took over the second half. He took over. That is the when you talk about South Carolina and Clemson this year, it's the Lenor Sellers show. Joe, 16 carries, 166 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That is insanity. Pure insanity. The kid is not getting time. Joe, he was pressured on half of his dropbacks yesterday. Half. How he broke out some of these sacks, I have no clue. I get what you're saying about him making the bad turnover, throwing the football and the interception. That gets erased for me after you're getting pressured on half of your dropbacks. By the way, he only had 22 of them. Right? Like, I mean, he had 21 or he had more than 22 attempts. I mean, dropbacks. He had 21 passing attempts. This kid is making dog shit into gold, man. He is a animal. He's a freak. That's why I love him. And you know what, too, man? I got to admit this, too, man. But their safety room is let me not say the best in the country. They're one of the best top 5, top 10 safety duos in the country. Defensively, they got everything that you need. They're running the football effectively. You're right. They keep finding ways to shoot themselves in the foot as a young team normally does. But, man, every single week I keep coming out here and we talk about South Carolina, and it's the Lenor Sellers show. It really is. Shane Beamer said it at the end of the game that he thinks that Sellers should be in the Heisman talk. I'm not there with him because of baseball.
That's hyperbolic.
It very much is. I get the point that he was trying to make in the sense of nobody has had a better month than South Carolina. Nobody's had a better quarterback, in my opinion, in the SEC better than this kid. Nobody. I mean, you have Carson Beck that's got, 5 interceptions in the month? Like, nobody does. This kid has legitimately put this team on his back and willed them to, Joe, a potential playoff chance here. He has willed them back. I'll admit this. I'm an LSU guy. I think the hit on Nussmeier in the early part of the season was bullshit. It's the right call technically, but it's still bullshit. They should be a 10-2 football team.
And you really just want the South Carolina fans to rally behind you. That's what you're doing.
No, I don't. I'm for what's right. I'm serious. They should have won that football game. Garrett threw a bad pick. It was a pick 6. They should have won it. Refs screwed them on it. I don't give them the LSU loss. I'm sorry. I just mentally I can't. I can't look at that game and give them a loss there. I cannot. Then Sellers goes down in the middle of the year. They continue to battle. He's on a hobble leg against Alabama and Ole Miss, and I'm supposed to just expect him to get better. The last month he faces 4 of the last 5 games against ranked opponents, and he dominates on the ground against all of them. And I'm like, bro, this is what I see in a playoff team. I can see what happened against LSU and call dog shit. What I can't do is look at this game against a team in Clemson, a rivalry game, a team that might be the ACC champion, and you go on the road and beat them. And
okay.
Lenor Sellers, that is the game. That is the breakdown of this game.
Lenor Sellers had a phenomenal performance. Was not playing as cleanly as a passer and realized that he needed to rely on his legs. And the whole scheme was, how can we set up for him to create for him? And everything that, by the way, South Carolina fans, they got pissed at me for saying that the offensive line was not improving as much as y'all thought it was. They allowed so many pressures, but because of his pocket presence and his ability to escape and break tackles, that is what set them up for success and to finish on some of those drives. But and you're going to get pissed off by this. South Carolina fans are going to get pissed off by this. I think that they have certainly been hot towards the end of the season. But I don't know how you can look at a game like that specifically and think that, boom, this cut and dry playoff team, because there were mistakes that held them back, mistakes that are going to hurt them against better teams. They beat a ACC championship winning team likely in Clemson, which is notable. But there are going to be harder opponents with better defenses that have better run defenses, which we talked about coming into this matchup that Clemson did not have a very good run defense. It was one of the worst in the country in terms of EPA per rush that they were allowing. So what I'm saying here is I don't think it's so cut and dry to assume. Can I finish? I don't think it is so cut and dry to assume that they step into the playoff and that they're the best option, clear as day, of any of the remaining teams that are in the discussion. I think there are a multitude of teams that deserve to be in that conversation. And if anything, I would argue that there really is no 12th best team. I think that there's just a bunch of really good teams that have flaws And South Carolina is one of those better teams that has flaws. What?
If they have a win over a team that has an automatic bye and they don't get in, and one of these teams that have not faced a winning record, teams with a winning record outside of one, Indiana, I am going to absolutely flip my ever-living shit.
You at the beginning of the show shit on and said that the ACC wouldn't even get into the playoff
if you didn't have automatic qualifiers.
But now all of a sudden the automatic qualifier victory is impressive?
The argument changes when you do have automatic qualifiers and a team that they just beat is the
logic
champion.
Shouldn't. The logic shouldn't. You can't make one argument and then make a different one to support one team and then shit on another.
Y'all are outside of your with this.
No, we're not.
Joe, here's the real truth. I saw Indiana get physically abused by Michigan. If you, again, I'm telling you, I know how that South Carolina game will go. I promise you I know.
I don't think it's that
bullshit.
Clear as day, cut and dry.
They would light that ass up. They light that ass up on the ground.
I don't agree with that.
Sellers would bend them over and smack that ass.
I don't agree with that.
You ain't got to agree with it. Let me just tell you that it's what I'm telling you is the truth.
BetOnline remains your top spot for all of your live betting action and contests. NFL, college football, UFC, NHL are all in full swing. BetOnline is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to BetOnline today and use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for 50% off your first deposit. That is a 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, where the game starts.